So there's the bike in its latest incarnation. I just rode yesterday the Texas Chainring Massacre. I rode they had basically 3 options available: the 105-mile course, which is a timed race, and then half that 52.6-mile course just for as a fun run, or excuse me, a fun ride. And then they also had a 30-mile course, or just a shade under 30-mile course, also as a fun ride. So I wanted to do the 100, but because of family obligations, I just didn't think I'd have time to drive there, do the 100 and drive back. So I signed up to do the 50, and then after I got done with the 50, I went ahead and did the 30 too. So altogether, it took me like an hour and 53 minutes to do the 30, and it took me, I think, 3 hours and 17 minutes to do the 50. So not bad. It was a cold day, I don't mind that. I just stuffed some newspaper under my jersey, and just kind of did a base layer newspaper jersey and some long cycling pants, and went that way. When I started out, I jumped the gun a little bit. Since it's not a timed event, I figured, what the hell, I'll just go ahead and go. When I rode out, it was 27 degrees, I think. So I like that type of weather. It's great for cycling, and there was almost no wind. But anyhow, I thought I'd do an update on my gravel bike setup because I have made some changes. The handlebars are new. They're Chinese carbon. I went with carbon, a little narrower handlebar this time, and actually if I had to do over again, I probably would go back to the wider handlebars. Aero bars are gone because when I went over the handlebars, my left leg and hip hit the left aero bar extension and bent it up and shattered the armrest, so they're not usable. And anyhow, I thought, as a gravel bike, maybe I should consider leaving those off. I don't know. My perception was, maybe I'm not using those as much as I think I am. But after tomorrow, after the race, I think my conclusion is I should put them back on. I think my conclusion is I should put them back in. So the argument against is, look, you don't want to be on gravel on your aero bars when you're riding in a group. I agree with that. But there's so many times when you're on these, especially these longer endurance rides, where you're just not drafting off anybody or riding in a group. So I think I can pick up some carbon aero bars that weigh, under 400 grams, that just help me get a little more aero when I'm riding solo, and don't really cost me that much when I'm in a group, and I can just stay in the drops. I got a new bike bag on here. I don't know if I've done a video on this bike bag, but this is an electric bike bag for batteries, and I like it. I can stuff my battery and my light in there. It's got a lead, I don't know what you call it. It's got an opening where you can feed this through, and keeps this out of the way. No danger it's going to get caught in my wheel. I apologize for the condition of this bike, by the way. I've been out mudding, so I have a substantial amount of mud on my bike. At one point I lost traction and fell over, so I got mud all over my handlebars. I love it, but you may not. But anyhow, yeah, I like this thing. It's soft-sided, but I like that because with this bag, it's just when you think it's full, you can almost always stuff one more thing in there, and I like that about it. And eventually, so right now I have, everything that you would keep on your bike, bike lock, tools, battery, I have it all stuffed in there, and it doesn't fill it up. But when I go to work, I'll put my lunch in here too. And then when I come home, it's warmer in the afternoon, I'll stuff gloves, hats, sleeves, and stuff in there. You may notice I've gone away from, the Brooks seat. which makes me sad, but there's some reasons for that, and I should do a video on it. But basically, on the advice of some nagging injuries, and on the advice of a bike fit analyst, I've gone to a cutout seat, and I think it's helped. So I feel sorry for you guys. The nice thing about a Brooks is you don't have to wonder when you buy one of those Brooks leather saddles. You don't have to wonder, oh, is this going to fit me or not? Look, if you ride on it for a month, it's going to fit you. I feel sorry for you guys that have to constantly pick out saddles, because, man, you got to go through a lot of saddles to find out which one fits you. Anyhow, in the end, the El Cheapo Vader for me. This is what I rode the 82 miles on the other day, and not an issue there. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to lose this saddle, and I'm going to go with one of the Brooks, one of the new Brooks rubber saddles with a cutout. I was advised that a cutout would probably help me, along with some other tricks. I think it has. I didn't want to drop the money on a more expensive saddle if the cutout wasn't going to help. I've kind of concluded that it is. I've also concluded that I like not having to worry about getting my saddle wet, especially on days like today when I wash out in the mud. So I think I'm going to go with I'm going to give the new saddle. The other thing I found out is, man, my sit bones are they're wide, I guess. Most saddles for me are too narrow. This is a little bit wider saddle. It seems to be bearable, and I've heard that the Brooks rubber saddles also are very wide, so I think that could work for me. So I may spring for one of those and move over to the rubber saddle and see how that goes. Now, the downside of the rubber saddle is, like I was talking about earlier, it ain't gonna break in. What you buy is what you get in terms of the fit. So I switched out my back tire. This back tire that's on there now is not for any reason other than the other tire was worn out, and I was going to do a race, and I didn't want to do a race on a tire with worn tread, so I switched it out. That's a Forte Gotham city tire that's on there right now, and as I discovered today, not great traction for mud. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, everything else is kind of the same, and this is what I rode 82 miles of gravel on at about 16 miles an hour a couple of days ago. Works great. I still have the pan racer on the front, and for the first time ever, I had a pinch flat on this, on the front tire, snake bite flat. And I changed out the tube, and I kept it because I stuffed it in the bag, because I can always get a little bit more in the bag, and I didn't want to throw it on the road, and I wouldn't have in any event. But the race organizer even came by and said, "Hey, you want me to take your tube?" And I'm like, "No, I want to see what went down." And yeah, it was a snake bite flat. Now, so I normally ride, I'll put between 65 and 70 pounds of pressure in this, which is probably more than most people ride. At this particular point in the ride, I had tagged on behind some fairly fast riders, and we went bombing down a hill. And before the race, there had been maybe an inch of rain there a couple of days before, and so the gravel was real packed down. And in this particular spot, they had maybe washout problems before, and they had dropped some rather large diameter limestone there, and it got embedded in the mud and was sticking out. And if you ride down that going 30 miles an hour, you can have some pinch flat problems. So maybe more ammunition to argue for a tubeless setup, but I'm not ready to go there yet. But anyhow, it was a great race. I really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun.